2008 Subaru Forester, no, 2007 Subaru Forester spark plug removal. Basically, you've got to take off the air filter box. Take that off. Air filter box off. Take these little plugs out. You are able to come in from this side. Take the coils out. This is one of them. The other coil is still in there. We'll remove that. And then on the other side, you have to take out the battery, maybe remove this pump. We'll see when we get there. So the main reason I'm taking out the spark plugs and the coils is because there's a misfire on the car, and last time we checked the diagnostics machine, it said misfire on cylinder number 3. So I thought maybe let's just change the spark plugs and see if that solved the problem. Let's put some new spark plugs in. I'll maybe get the coils tested and see if they're still good. If that's not the problem, then I might have to dig a little bit deeper. But let's start with this and see. The first thing you want to do when you're working on your car is take the battery terminals off, just in case, well, just for safety. So I'm gonna do that now, and then we carry on. But yeah, do that in the beginning. That's the right way, not like me. Never do what I do. Okay, so the battery's out. You should have nice access to the first one. The second one's still a bit enclosed, so I've removed the bolts. Okay, here's this thing. I've just taken that off. That goes there, and yeah, I don't know what it does, but let's put it here for now. And now we've got ample space to work with here. I'm sure we should be able to get the coils and the plugs out from this angle. So I've got the first spark plug out. It is not easy to get a socket in there. So what I've done is I've used a flexi thing with this plug spanner. So I'll wedge this kind of in there. Make sure it's on the socket on the spark plug. There we go. That's it. So once that is in there, like that, then you can take your ratchet and hook it on like that. Well, I'm holding the phone in the one hand, so it's a bit difficult. Let me put the phone down. But that's basically the best way to get them out, is with one of those flex things, because you're just not going to get an extension in there. And what the flexi thing does, it gives you a bit of maneuverability getting in and out of this tight section here. So yeah, let me take this one out. So there we go. That's the second spark plug. This one actually came out a bit easier. If you look at this one over here, this one is quite rusted. It looks like it came out of a boat that's been submerged for 3 years. But yeah, look at the difference there. So here we have the spark plugs. This is the iridium spark plugs, NGK. So let's stick these spark plugs in and see if we can solve the problem. So the only way to kind of get this plug in position is by getting it in there and then using your 2 fingers to kind of turn it in. So you've got to be quite good with using only 2 fingers. I kind of want to turn it in all the way just by hand. So I've got the socket in there now, just the front part, and I've turned it by hand until it kind of can't turn anymore. And then you just want to give it a light turn with the ratchet. You don't want to torque your plugs too much, because there's a little gasket on there that will get damaged if you tighten the plugs too much. There we go. So this is the last one. Got 3 in, 1 more to go. Okay, great, we got all 4 spark plugs in. So now we can put the the coils back. So what I'm doing is I'm sanding down the contact points just with a very fine piece of sandpaper. As you can see, you know, it's got quite a bit of build-up of shit on it, and that is the one that's been cleaned now. So if you look at the other ones, that was not too bad. That was not too bad. I think these two were the worst. So hopefully that will also help a little bit. Okay, now it's time to put in the coil. So the screw faces to the bottom as well as the plug, so it goes in that way. Getting these coils in is quite challenging, so you kind of got to wiggle it in there. Just can't get them to click in. I must say, getting the coils out is a lot easier than getting them in. So you got to put the plugs on first onto the coil, because otherwise, if you've got the coil in, you can't get the plug in. Now I lost my socket somewhere down there. Fuck's sakes. You got to do the plug first. Click that in. There you go, that's clipped in. Actually, what you need to do first, turn this around, plug facing forward, and then slide it in, and then put the plug on. There we go. Alright, so we got all the coils in. It was a lot harder to get the coils in, but the worst part is losing the socket inside the engine bay and trying to fish that out. I spent the last half an hour looking for this damn 12 socket to be able to put those things in. Anyway, yeah, so we got all the plugs in. I've installed the box, or that thing, battery. I haven't tied down the battery. I'm going to start the car first and see what happens. Up. Everything sounds good, I think. Let it idle for a while and we give it 1 or 2 blows.